All right. Did you know that not only is R one of the most common sounds that kids have a hard time saying, but there are actually several types of R. And so, if your child has a difficult time saying some words with the R sound in it, there's a chance that they might only struggle with a few of those R's. So, stick around and I'm going to share with you 7 types of R, and I'm going to help you figure out which ones your child needs help with and how to help your child say the R in words. If you're just starting out learning how to help your child make the R sound, then I want you to know about this sequence that we follow in speech therapy. And this video is step 3 in that sequence, which is working on R at the word level. So if you haven't seen my other videos yet, check out my step 1 and step 2 videos, which are R in isolation or R just on its own, and then move on to R in syllables. So once your child is able to make an R on its own and they're able to then add vowels, making that the syllable level, then you can try this step, which, as I mentioned, is step 3, making R in words. Okay, are you ready to learn about 7 types of R? Crazy, huh? So here we go. Let's walk through some of these. First is R. So what I mean by this is R is either at the beginning of a word, like words like rain, raccoon, run, or there isn't any vowel that comes before the R. And in speech therapy, sometimes you'll hear this referred to as prevocalic R. Another R is or in words like store, pour, more. And it's important to note that this is the sound that it's making. It might not necessarily be spelled O-R, but it's the sound that it makes. Next is AR or R. Words like car, Argentina, market. Next is or ER. Words like early, teacher, purpose. Then air. Words like airplane, pair, caring. Then ear, like earbud, hero, fear. And last is ire. Words like Ireland, pliers, tired. Okay, so let's talk about how to figure out which R your child might be having a hard time with. So one thing that I've done to make it easier for you is I've created this document with a list of the different types of R, and I have examples for each of those types of R. You'll notice that they come in different parts of words. So for some, it appears at the beginning of a word, some in the middle, and at the end of the word. So you can access that document by following the link in the description below. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through and just have your child say the different words, and you can just mark down if they got it right or not. So go through and figure out which ones are easier for your child and which ones are more difficult. Then once you've gone through and you've made note of which ones your child is able to say, then go back on the ones that were difficult for them and try and have your child repeat the word after you. So see if after you model it for them, if they're able to get it that way, if you're able to kind of coach them. And then just take note of which words were the most difficult for your child to try and say, and which ones were they able to get with maybe a little bit of modeling from you. So now that you've done that, now you have a list of which type of R's are more difficult for your child and which ones are a little bit easier. And so what I would recommend is that you start with the ones that are the easiest and gradually move down, working eventually to the ones that are the most difficult. And chances are, if you've gone through step 2 of R in syllables, then you have a pretty good idea of which ones to work on. As you're practicing these, starting with the ones that are easiest for your child, moving down to the most difficult, then a couple things that I would recommend that will help you when you're practicing. Number 1 is to have a picture of the word that you are practicing. As you practice it, hold it up next to your mouth so that your child can see the picture and remember what word they're practicing and see you model it for them. And number 2, have them hold out the R sound. Rain, car. And then number 3, when you are getting a good production of the word, have them repeat it about 3 to 5 times. Then once they're getting more consistent and it's getting easier for them to get the correct R in there, then as you're practicing, you can start to shorten the R. So if you're doing car, it would go from car down to car, then eventually all the way down to car. So it's a natural production of the word. Now, if at any point your child is having a rough time, a couple things that you can do is to just go back a step. So jump back to the syllable level. For the example of car, you would just have them practice R. See if they can do that. And then once they are able to do a few productions of R, then try and add back in that hard C sound. Car. Another helpful tip, if the R is sounding a little bit off, especially the vocalic R's where there's a vowel beforehand, instead of sounding like an R, it sounds like a vowel is replacing it. Car might sound like call, or ear might sound like il. And pretty much what is happening is the tongue is coming down and forward. So just go back and review how to make R in isolation, just remembering to get the tongue back and up. And then lastly, as far as materials that'll be helpful for you, I recommend having pictures of all the words that you're practicing. It's really helpful for kids to remember what word they're doing, and it makes it more engaging for them. One thing that's tricky with the R sound is because there are the many types of R, it can be a little bit more difficult for parents to go and try and search out the type of R's. So feel free, you can definitely do a Google search and try and find the different types of R's and word lists that go with those. But if you want to, and you just want a quick, easy access to a list of words and pictures, then check out the link in my description for quick, easy access to pictures and word lists of all the different types of R's. Then check out my website where I have flashcards for each of these R's. And not only do I have pictures for each of these, but I start out with the easiest words to say, and I gradually make them a little bit more difficult. And I also have them in each word position. So the beginning of words, the middle, and the final position of words, so that you don't have to worry about any of that. You can just find those pictures and know, start at the top and gradually move down to the bottom. And if you have any questions along the way, then let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And with that, we are one step closer to unlocking your child's voice one sound at a time. Now, I hope you will try that out this weekend and let me know in the comments down below how it goes and if you have any questions. And I hope that you will share your goodness with someone today, and I will see you in the next one.